second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Montreal Canadiens swept, I said it, Nate, swept. They took the broom and they swept the Winnipeg Jets for nothing. So the Winnipeg Jets are now eliminated from the Stanley Cup playoffs, and the Canadiens are advancing to the Western Conference Finals. So I'm gonna go to the stats real quick. I'm gonna go to the leaders for the Canadiens. So Tyler Toffoli, he's leading them with 4 goals, and there are 3 other guys that are tied with him, and those 3 other guys are Nick Suzuki, Joel Armia, and Kotkaniemi. Those 3 guys are tied with him for 4 goals, and he also led them in assists. And there was one player that tied him in assists, and that was Eric Stahl. And Tyler Toffoli leads the whole team with 10 points. So overall, Nate, he's been doing a great job for this team, and he's definitely a big factor for the reason why they ended up sweeping the Winnipeg Jets. Now, going to minutes played, Shea Weber, he led the whole team with minutes played with 25 minutes and 27 seconds. So, again, I got to give him a lot of credit on that. And Carey Price has 8 wins so far, and he's in the Stanley Cup playoffs. So, again, I gotta give the Canadians a lot of credit. They've been doing a great job. And I mean, overall, they just didn't give the Winnipeg Jets any momentum. Now, obviously, guys who have been doing good for the Winnipeg Jets, Kyle Connor, he has 3 goals, and he also has 4 assists, and he leads the team with 7 points. And Mark Sheffield, he was leading the team with 26 minutes and 40 seconds, but obviously the suspension really did cost him. And Connor Hellebuyck, he had 4 wins in the entire since he's been in the playoffs, but obviously he didn't get a win in the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Overall, Nate, even though they got swept, this wasn't really like a blowout series. It was just the Canadians not giving the Winnipeg Jets any momentum. Um, Besides game three they were leading 5-1. They won 5-1. All the other games were pretty close games. I mean, you look at game one, it was 5-3. Look at game two, it was 1-0. And then you look at game four, it was 3-2, and it went to overtime. So when you really think about it, Nate, this series wasn't really like what you call a domination, but it came to the Canadiens staying in the game, and they just didn't give them any momentum to score. It was a hard-fought series for the Canadiens, even though they did win every single game. But regardless, the Canadiens did a great job of making sure that the Winnipeg Jets just didn't get a win, no matter whether it was away or home. They just did a great job with that. Now, again, they end up facing the winner of the Colorado Avalanche and the Vegas Golden Knights, which I think, no matter what team that is going to be a good series to watch. I think the Canadiens are going to shock people. I'm not saying they're going to win the series, but I'm saying they will shock people. And again, it's going to be a very interesting series. But the Canadiens have been tested pretty well, Nate. These whole playoffs, they have been tested, and they ended up answering the challenge, and they've been doing what they need to do to win. They ended up defeating the Toronto Maple Leafs, which a lot of us thought the Maple Leafs are going to go to this. We're going to go to the next round, but they ended up beating them, and then they ended up beating the Winnipeg Jets. So I got to give them a lot of credit. Okay, the Montreal Canadiens are just proving people wrong, and they're doing what they need to do to win. I know you predicted the Winnipeg Jets, and I predicted the Montreal Canadiens, but both of us thought this was going to go more than just 4 games. With that being said, obviously Mark Sheffield not being there for the Winnipeg Jets, that definitely cost them, because again, he was their leading goal scorer in the regular season, and to not have him there, it was very unfortunate. He was only there for, I believe, he got suspended game one, right? If I'm correct.
Yeah, game one.
Yeah, he got suspended game one. So, I mean, him not being there really did hurt them. And obviously the Canadiens didn't have Jake Evans, but I said that Sheffield had a bigger impact on the Winnipeg Jets than Jake Evans did on the Montreal Canadiens. But regardless, again, with that being said, I do wish Jake Evans the best of luck in his speedy recovery. Obviously, to go into the next round. So I'm not sure if Jake Evans is going to be able to play then. I'm not sure. Somebody knows, you can leave it down in the comments. But I will say this, Mark Sheffield not being there definitely cost them in this series. So with that being said, congratulations to the Montreal Canadiens on going to the Western Conference Finals. Again, to Dominique Ducharme, who is the head coach of the Montreal Canadiens. You're doing a great job. You're doing a great job with this team. He did a great job taking over this team and leading them into a deep playoff run. And I wish the Canadiens the best of luck in the next round. As for the Winnipeg Jets, it's back to the drawing board. I wish you guys the best of luck in the offseason. Sheffield will probably be back for next season. And again, we'll see what happens in the offseason for the Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah, absolutely. This was one of those sweeps where it was like you mentioned, it wasn't like a blowout, but like the chances just weren't taken. It was one of those kind of sweeps. When usually
Right.
when you watch sweeps, they're just immaculate blowouts. That's usually what ends up happening. You look at this. You look at the series with a couple of years back with the Lightning and Blue Jackets. The Lightning just flat out didn't show up. I think that series they led all one time, and I was in the first period of game one, and that was just after that. That was just that, you know. So when you look, you know, usually when you think of sweeps, you think of like, you know, the team just flat out dominated the other. But overall, Mario, the Canadiens played a good series, and it pains me to say that because again, I'm a Bruins fan, and I really shouldn't be giving props to this damn team, but yeah. But I'm an analyst now, so yeah, I have to do what I gotta do. But now they're going to the Western Conference Finals, and I think this is going to be their best test yet. You know, either they're facing the Avalanche or the Golden Knights. You know, and both teams are equally as good in my opinion. You know, this in that series, I'm pretty sure it's tied 2-2. I believe. Yeah, it is. It's tied 2-2. All right. So when I look at it, Mario, and the Canadiens have definitely been tested. You know, they went to 7 games with the Maple Leafs, who are, you know, supposed to be a top tier team in the league, but you know, ultimately flunked on them. So honestly, Mario, when I look at the Western Conference Finals, the Canadiens are definitely going to be tested. They can. It's not impossible for them to win, but it's definitely going to be extremely difficult. Again, you know, like you mentioned, they've definitely been tested a lot this playoff. So I wouldn't be surprised if they won. I just don't want to see them win because, you know, as a Bruins fan, that pains me. Yeah. Anyway, now going to the Jet situation. I mentioned this in the Mark Sheffley video. He because this series got swept. His last game suspended game will be served at the first game of next season. So that's how that's going to work. I did mention that in the last video, but I figured I'd mention that again. So
Okay.
yeah, so I figured I'd mention that. But he killed the Jets. You know, I think if he was there, it would have really been a different situation. You know, we would have been having a different conversation. But overall, the Jets did what they could. It just wasn't enough. And you know, you just got to work better in the off season, practice, add more to the squad, and you're good to go. That's really the best I can put it. So with that being said, you know, best of luck to the Jets in the off season. You know, it's back to the drawing board. Gotta do what you gotta do. As for the Canadiens, yeah, they continue to shock people. And honestly, if I'm the Canadiens, keep doing that. Keep doing it because this team was not expected to go anywhere. So and it's always that unexpected team that you got to watch out for. Look at the St. Louis Blues a couple years ago. I honestly thought the Bruins were going to win that series in 5 games. No, the Blues ended up winning in 7 at TD Garden, and that team was in last place at one point too. So if I'm the league, I would watch out for this team because it's always those unexpected teams that you never understood that you never expect to go that far. So with that being said, best of luck to the Canadiens. In the Western Conference Finals. Again, best of luck to the Jets in the offseason, and we'll see what happens.